Hey everyone, how's it going? Back with Tony, reselling with Tony. Hope everybody's doing okay. Well, today's episode, make it a little bit different. I'm actually going to unbox or sort out the rest of the inventory we had left over from 2019. After going through the basement, try to reorganize everything. Moving stuff around. We found some stuff that we still have left behind, and some stuff we got from an intermediary that we usually buy from that sells out overseas to businesses overseas that distribute it to their thrift shops or thrift shops here in the United States, or to small businesses that also resell stuff. So we basically have a connection for clothes and shoes, and sometimes they get a hold of some electronics or some toys that they don't really sell, that we kind of like a little hookup we have that we usually get for free. So we get it at no cost, or the cost of our gasoline basically. Um, so let's get started. Some of the stuff that I managed to unpack so far. I don't know if you guys are big, but Pokemon cards. These do sell, and I sold a few. They've actually really done well for me, because I get them at very little. Actually, we don't get them at no cost. So whatever I make out of them, it's a full profit. Could be from two to like about, maybe the highest one I've sold was like $30, and that's a Charizard card. So if you get a hold of one of those are pretty good. So I got a few here. Out of all these cards you see here, the only ones that I could basically sell as a set are these three right here. So that goes to show you the rest of it. I most likely will sell either in person or as an entire pack on Facebook or locally on Facebook. With COVID-19 though, please be careful going out, meeting out with people. If you can mail it out, mail it out. And in the other deck that I have, I actually got really lucky. I found this guy right here. If you do manage to find these two, if you're not very knowledgeable in Pokemon, don't do it. But if they're free, why not? I managed to get a hold of these two guys right here. I know they're Mewtwo's, and I know these are worth a pretty penny, so that's pretty good for me. I actually found a whole bunch of holo cards. Like this guy, this whole deck is basically a whole lot of holo cards. So if you do find holo cards, especially a Dratini or any holo cards, they will sell them. They go for like about $1, $2 a pop. So if your cost is zero and you have them, or if you have them laying around your house and you need a little bit extra cash, those are pretty good to sell. They always sell. I've always been selling them, so I've collected them since my childhood. Another thing that I found are baseball cards. Now I have to go through all of them in order to be able to actually see how much they are, how much I can make out of them. I'm not really much of an expert on baseball cards, but since I'm home all day now, I have nothing better to do than to actually look through them. A pretty neat one I found is an inaugural series collection. So I gotta go through that, or actually I have to sell the whole set. So let me see if I scan it here. Scan it on the eBay app, see how much it goes for. And not bad. I mean, they are going for like $7 to $11. Let's see, in sold and completed items. You see how much they've actually sold for. Only 4 sold, so they're like about $8. The cheapest one is $1, so I don't know. I might try to sell it online. If I can, I'll probably sell it in person, or as a lot with the rest of the baseball cards if they're not worth much. I'll sell it as a lot, and I know like 1 or 2 collectors on my Facebook that I have a contact with that are local, so they'll come and they'll buy it because they like to collect that stuff. Another thing I found, this pretty cool thing, Funko Pops. If you could find it in the box, that's okay. That's actually better to find it outside the box. In regards to this one, it's a little bit damaged, so I'm actually keep it because I like to collect those. And some neat things I have here Or I'm gonna knock down my stool. These Build-A-Bears. So if you find a Build-A-Bear one, where's that at? Especially the Pokemon editions, if they're in really good condition like this guy, so I really got lucky. It makes no noise, which sucks. But if you find one of these and they're pretty good condition, they go for about $30 to $40. I've actually sold this one already, so I've got to ship it out tomorrow, along with a few other items. And if you're a Star Wars fan, these Pillow Time pets, or Pillow Time figures, plush dolls, Yoda sells really good, or any Star Wars collectible, you know, Star Wars things, they sell pretty good on eBay too, so I was pretty lucky coming across that. Let's see. Got myself a Pikachu. I'm actually a big fan of Pikachu, but I have to sell it. This is from Toy Factory, so if you look at the tag, and you know it has a Pokemon tag, voila, and it's from Toy Factory, you got yourself another good $20, especially if it's in good condition. You know, $15-$20. That's what it sells for. So I expect after fees to make like a good maybe $10-$11 from this thing. And so these are really popular Paw Patrol toys. If you get a hold of these, then you know you can basically sell them because they're really they're really good. Actually, these three are going to be shipped out tomorrow. I've already sold them on Facebook Market Watch. So I cross list everything that I can cross list. So these are already gone. Now when it comes to shoes, take you guys on a little tour. First, I got another neat thing here. Some neat. Well, ignore the Nerf guns. My brother always leaves stuff behind. Scooby-Doo toys. Word of advice on these: if you do come across the Hanna-Barbera ones, and especially if it has that little figure right there, or the number. Let's see. If it has that chartered LTD. If you have like a collection of these toys, then you are in luck. Yeah, the Hanna-Barbera, those especially have a serial number on it, you are in luck because if you collect a few of them, you can sell it for like maybe $30-$40. If you have the mystery machine and like maybe 8 figures like this, or what, 8 figures, if you have the whole set and a mystery machine, you have like $50-$40 right there. These I expect to sell anywhere between maybe $10-$15. You know, for 8 figures, that's crazy. Now back to here. It's a little dark. These are some shoes that we found. Like I said, actually, let me turn on a little lamp. As you can see, I have no lighting yet installed. It's a little project that I have to do. Watch out, give me 1 sec, guys. Alright, hopefully that helps. Alright. Hello. Okay, guys. So, here's some shoes I got. They might have like a little chip here and there on top. But I generally look at the bottom to see if they're, you know, the soles are still good. I touch to see if they still have some cushion in it. So, these have cushion in it. Back of the heels are still in almost good condition, so those are a sell. The brand is Dream Paris. I actually only sold 2 of those, so you know, they're pretty cheap shoes. They only cost like about $1 a pair. So I'm gonna end up selling it for like maybe $2-$3. Then you have, I got a hold of some suede. Although the suede is kind of, you know, a little bit dirty here and there, but I actually got suede cleaner, so I'm gonna end up restoring these. They still have cushion on the bottom, so that's pretty good. And when I look at the bottom, I got a little lucky. They're actually still okay. So this is a good sell. Although it's a very famous brand. I got Nature Breeze. Now I've actually sold maybe like 3 of them online already, and they still have cushion in it. The bottom is actually still good. Still has that the sticker. And the top, no damages, no wear. So I got pretty lucky with these. And I also found these Steve Madden shoes, which are actually pretty neat. Looked them up online. I already have them up there. They listed it. I'm looking at the bottom is actually kind of okay after I cleaned it up a bit. And it still has its cushion on the bottom. No, actually, these are pretty good condition. The more I look around, these are pretty neat. I've actually sold Steve Madden shoes. That's the brand that I've sold the most, surprisingly. Now I've already pre-selected some shoes. So there's some shoes I already pre-selected. I'm actually gonna put this down here. Let's bring you guys down to some of the shoes I pre-selected. I'm actually got a hold of another Steve Madden shoes. Now these are actually purple suede, which I've never seen before. They're actually okay condition. The bottom, it's okay. I'm actually consider selling this in person or not selling them at all. But the purple suede is actually pretty neat. So I've never seen purple suede before, so that's pretty cool. Other shoes I may found. These Sassy Sexies. I've never heard of it. Fox suede. I know these Jordans I've always sold, so as soon as I restore these, which is pretty good at restoring Jordans, they should sell. Thomas McAn, I've always sold those. I've never actually seen these, but after looking them up, it's a good $10-12 in it. The bottom is still in okay condition, so that's pretty good. And these boots, I forgot the brand, but I got really lucky because the actual boot itself on the bottom for both shoes, they're actually still pretty good. So they've actually looked like they've never been worn. I'm not too sure about that, but that was actually part of a lot, which our source calls it the highest quality that they can sell us. And sometimes you get box shoes from these. These are some Skechers boots, which I've never heard of, but they have insulate inside. So once I clean that out, it's pretty good. I know Step Comfort. I've actually sold those before because they're good for people that work in fast food restaurants and stuff because they're slip resistant. These Jordans I'll end up restoring and selling for like maybe a few bucks. These Adidas, they're actually big shoes. I like big sizes sometimes, especially when it comes to Adidas and Jordans because they're rarely ever on eBay. I know I've sold some for my sneakers heads out there. Some Yeezys. I've sold them. I've once got my hands on 2 size 13s. And I sold them at the price that I literally put them up for. Nobody even contested it because I rarely see Yeezys size 13 on eBay. So these Apex shoes, these I actually got really lucky because they're still brand new. They're pretty good to sell for like maybe, I don't know, $8 to $10, make $7-8 off of it. These Born shoes, that's patent pending, but these are pretty good. Still in good condition. If I don't sell them online, I usually sell them in person. And some box shoes. No, not exactly what it says on the box, but what I found out, these shoes are also good. I guess people that work out in cold temperatures. Still some insulation inside, so there's actually insulation inside, so that's pretty good. Any boot with insulation inside, it's almost a guaranteed sell, especially for me. These I've actually never heard of. Achilles, never actually heard of that brand. The bottom is a little worn out, so kind of iffy of whether or not to actually sell it in person or not sell it at all. I don't know. Now, I have shoes over there that are pretty worn out. Usually leave it up to my father whether or not you can sell it at the flea market, or usually we just ended up donating it to people in need. So, while I do like to make money, I'm not always that greedy. Now to come to what I call the rest of the shoes that I have yet to go through. When it comes to actual sandals, oops. When it comes to actual sandals, I'm not a big fan of sandals. So whenever I see these, I usually hand it to my father, and he decides whether or not he's gonna sell it. So I put those down in that pile over there. Shoes like these, I hate coming across shoes like these. So there's two lots that we bought. One lot is what's called their fine quality shoes. They cost about maybe $3 a pound. So they hook us up and charge us like about $2.50 a pound for shoes, and their less quality shoes are about $1 per pound. And I hate buying their low quality shoes because I can't really flip it. See something like this with the shoes basically worn out, it's worth nothing to me. So finding its other pair, and it has to go. Nike Zooms. They would have been nice if I found them in better condition. Converses. I love selling Converses because I've actually sold a few if they're in good condition, and they are kind of not. I don't know if I'm able to restore them. Usually what I look for is this. Still have any cushion left, and if it has no cushion left for like this shoe, it's basically no good for me. Another neat shoe that I came across. Logitech keyboard. You come across Logitech keyboards, and I just actually have a hold of the keyboard, not the mouse. I actually can't sell the keyboard by itself. I've sold wireless keyboards by themselves before, maybe $10-11 if they work. And this one works, so it already listed at $10-11. I expect to sell this by like the end of the week. And sometimes we come across box shoes, which I love to come across because if I'm lucky enough, like this shoe, it's still brand new. Doesn't have the tags, which suck, but it's in pretty good condition. Right. So it's in pretty good condition. Box shoes. Always love to come across those. And these aerosols. Still has in his box. These are actually brand new, so I got lucky when I opened the bag and found these in it. Brand new, still the shoes inside, the right pair, the right foot. Sometimes I find a box and they don't have the right pair in it. They're two different sizes. So these are pretty good. I've sold some aerosols before. I list them usually $19-20. Try to make the best out of it. Let's see. Uggs. Uggs are pretty popular. So what I like to do is I like to look at the bottom if it's not too worn out, and this one seems to be pretty okay. Uggs is a big sell. As soon as I post them, I get offers. Suede is actually pretty okay. I do have a suede cleaner and treater, so I usually end up treating these, and yeah, size 9. These are pretty good. The inside is, it feels good. It feels authentic. I know it's authentic. So Uggs are a big sell for me. I usually make a lot of money with Uggs. Let's see. See again, shoes like these. While it still has cushion, which is nice, but it's pretty used. So I have to look up the actual brand, Usaflex, and I have no idea what that is. So when it comes to these shoes, again, I end up giving it to my father, and he ends up selling them. Let's see, New Balance. It's part of that low end, that $1 stuff. Yeah, no good for me. The Nike shoe. If it's like this, again, it's another waste. I usually end up giving it to my father and see whether or not what he can do with it. And yeah, It actually still has this cushion in there, so that's pretty good. So he might be able to actually sell it. Now when you get heels or something, if it's like this and it's completely worn out, guess what it is? Basura, garbage. This is pretty neat. I've never seen this actual. This is a Nike. So whenever you get Nikes, rule of thumb, if you can look inside the tag, you're always gonna see the number. If you see that number, type in that number, Nike, and type in the number, you're gonna see the model. If it's on sale, how much is it, and you know whether or not it's a lot of if it's selling. See, with this one, I can actually restore it because I like restoring Nikes, and it's in pretty okay condition to be sold. There's actually a pretty new sole in it, so it's really comfortable. So it's actually pretty neat. It's I believe it's a Vapor Max, I think. I'm not too sure. But these are pretty good. These are a good, money maker for me. I love styling Nikes and Jordans and Adidas, especially Yeezys. Those are my favorite things. Get one of those old shoes. Dolce Vita, they're okay. If they're in good condition, they can be sold online. This one, pretty much beat up already, so it's not even worth going through. Again, sandals. I'm not a big fan of sandals. Let's see. Karen Scott, never actually heard of this. And interesting, it actually has a different type of sole. It's part of the $1 bunch. It's okay. I don't know if I can restore it. If I can, then I'll do it. Earth. I never actually heard about Earth. Looks like a very comfortable shoe. Not too sure, but it looks too beat up to be even considered for sale. This one actually still has its design on the bottom. I have no idea what brand this is. Forever. Not even Forever 21, it just says Forever on it. This is something I would sell at the flea market. These completely worn out. Another loss. Well, that's what it looks like when I sort the last on my inventory. Whether or not it can or cannot be sold. I usually end up doing that before buying another bulk load. That way I make space. Again, Dolce Vita. Totally worn out. Earth. Again, worn out on the other pairs. So yeah, this is what my Sunday looks like. It looks like my sorting Saturdays, as I like to call them. Open up another box. This pink heel, Liz Claiborne. I've actually sold a few Liz Claibornes. Depending on its condition, it still has its cushion. I'll always look at the tip of this, see if it's okay, still flat, Okay, and it is. The bottom is not too worn out. I can actually restore it, as you can see. And I always look at the patent leather when it's patent leather to see if there's any scratches on it, markings that I can erase or something like that. So it actually looks to be pretty good. I got lucky with that one. These sometimes I can sell heels. Sometimes I sell heels, sometimes I don't. Depending on the brand and what it looks like. It always is what it looks like. So when it comes to shoes and fashion and clothing, if you do have the time to actually go through it, then they sell. It takes a bit of time because with clothing and fashion, everything's about timing. Whether somebody will buy it right away, it could take months, it could take days, it could take like an entire year sometimes. But I'll never let it get to a year. I usually, within like 6 months, I'm rotating stuff already out, or selling it for the down low, or for dirt cheap, as I like to call it. Let's see. Also found a weathering lamp. These I usually sell fairly quickly when it comes to lamps and stuff like that, flashlights. If they work, this one works, I usually sell it out and I get rid of it right away. I'm actually gonna use it as a stand. Another cool thing I found projector. I have it scored. These are pretty neat. People like to buy these. I usually send. I think this is like the last one I have left. I have like two. I have like 3 of them. Boom, sells out for like. I sold each one for like about $15, and it cost me like $2 to get. Considering the amount of time we drove back and forth, I put that into my cost of goods sold. Just because I do have to drive pretty far, you know, good maybe 10-15 miles to get my inventory from these people. So hello there, my face. Now I was telling you about this shoe right here, right? Let's see, how rated? I have no idea what brand this is, so I'll probably most likely end up looking it up. I always end up cleaning these up really nice. I like not restoring shoes, but I can. It's a skill I picked up when it comes to reselling some Jordans and stuff like that, or some Nikes that I get my hands on, end up restoring and selling them. N1 shoes. It's in pretty good condition. These are like about $8 to $9 in sales to me because they're not like a famous brand. So they're not really sought after, but I either sell them online for like $8 $9 or end up selling them in person at the flea market, you know, for like about $3. Depends. Rockaway purse. I usually end up giving purses and clothes to my sister, so I'm not even going to talk about that because I have no knowledge about it. And another box shoe, Daisy Fuentes. I've actually sold a few of these. They're pretty okay. This one has an extra sole in it. The bottom is still pretty good. I think it's okay. Just clean it up a bit. It still has its box, same size, 8.5. Has an additional sole in it. These I've sold online, so, and it still has its box. Not exactly, you know, brand new condition, the box, but I still sell it. Nina shoes I've never actually heard of. Let's see. This was actually part of the $2.50 lot, so this is pretty good. It's actually brand new. By the looks of it, it's never been worn. You can see, voila. Brand new. These actually look pretty neat. I don't know. I mean, I'm not much. I can't decide for women what they wear, but I have no idea. It's like Chinese to me. Like a whole different language. The other one's also brand new. So they've both never been used or touched or tampered with, and it still has its box and it's wrapping. So I'll end up listing that. I don't know, maybe for like $12 to $15. Try to sell it. So it only cost me like about $2.50. So, well, cost of it might have been less. I don't know. I have to actually do the math. These were part of the good lot. So these are boots. But look at the brand. It says Carbon Elements. I've never actually heard of the brand, but they look like really nice boots, and they're brand new and still attached to each other. So that's a pretty good sell right there. I know people that can use some boots. Size 10. So that's another bin down. Another bin done. And I came across this Tumi. The bottom of it looks like it's you know, it's a bit worn out. I know Tumis are really good to be, you know, a really good brand when it comes to bags and stuff like this. I might actually use this to store my businesses or my papers for my insurance. It's actually pretty good on the inside. If I look at the inside, voila, it's actually still good. Like, it's not worn out, scratched, or anything falling apart in the inside, so that's pretty good. I might actually end up keeping this. I might need it. So, I got lucky there. I got it to me. And the strap is still good. Still intact. Nothing ripped. Actually, no, I lied. Something's ripped here, so I might end up using it anyway. Some more shoes. Again, bad luck. If the shoes are like these, time to go. It's part of that bad lot. And we got boots, size 3 for kids. Bottom's a little dirty. You know, these are used. It's actually part of the good lot, so I think I got ripped off. And it's still good in the inside. You know, actually insulated. Smith's is the brand. And these I will most likely end up cleaning up and posting them on. Skates. I've never actually sold skates. Because I've never got a hold of skates. So if anybody knows about skates, please comment in the box whether or not skates can be sold. These are Lake Placid. I don't even know how to determine whether or not these are in good condition or not. So I'm not an expert at that. So I have to do more research on skates. Another set of skates, Bauer. It's called Supreme, the model. It's pretty good. I guess, like I said, I don't know anything about skates, so I have to do more research on it, and that's part of the gig, right? You gotta do research, gotta investigate, and gotta learn something new every day. I wish these were Tims, but they're not. It's called Faded Glory. I can tell by the crease that these are not Tims. Tims a little bit more rougher. Well, the Tims that I had are rougher. Now if I touch the bottom, the sole is actually still pretty good. Traction wise, it's still pretty good. So these can be sold. I don't know, I might sell them in person, or I have to look them up. If they're worth anything, then I might sell them for, a little bit of money. Maybe $5-6, or maybe 10, something like that. Skechers Sports. Skechers are pretty good if they're in good condition. I know this one has suede in it, the 51241, so these are pretty good. It still has its traction. I gotta clean it up and make it look nice and neat. Sole wise, it has a memory foam in it, and it is still cushion. There's still cushion inside, so it's a pretty good sell. I like selling Skechers. Skechers are another brand that I do sell. New Balance, depending on New Balance, it depends on the condition. These look a little bit too worn out for me to even sell them, so gone. These bag ones over here. Skates. Let me take them off plastic. When it comes to roller skates, Chicago is actually a pretty good brand. I actually sold a few skates, like roller blades, actually. So these are pretty neat. I know the white leather's a little bit damaged, so I might actually restore that and put them on for sale, right? Look at the cushion again. I always look at this, and yeah, it's actually still pretty good. So if you have a kid that used it, condition's still pretty good. The wheels, you gotta look at the wheels. If the wheels are chipped or absolutely wrecked, you can't sell it. So in this one and the other pair, your wheels are still pretty good condition. The brake is still okay. I've only owned one pair of skates before, and I've fell down a few times, so I quit that. Yeah, I know. I violated my own. If you fall down, get back up rule. I had enough falling down. Again. Getting back up and getting hurt again and again and again. Too painful. Usually with those Chicago skates, I know they go for about $15 and up. So after I restore them, I'll probably most likely post it up for maybe $20 or something like that and sell them. Let's see. What else did I get my hands on? Electronics. Bad luck, right? Cracked screen on a BlackBerry Bold. Actually, this I managed to turn on yesterday. So it turns on, and I might do a tutorial on how to reset a BlackBerry in case you find one and actually can reset it. This one I usually with a cracked screen sell it for a few dollars, especially if I unblock it and restore it. I usually sell it for a few dollars. It's still a sale. I know some people that own electronic stores usually go in there and change the actual screen. They do it themselves, so I don't even worry about that. I mean, I can change the screen, but I'm not gonna use the phone, and I'm not gonna spend time on changing the screen. So I'm actually do a tutorial on how to unlock Androids that are Google locked, especially if you bought it part of a lot and you can't get it unblocked. A rule of thumb on Apples, it's tough. I mean, that's actually bad luck. If you get an Apple that's locked or iCloud locked, then forget about it. You're done. Mini Tonka. I have no clue what this is. The bottom is still okay. It has some traction, so I know these can be sold. The inside, still has a lot of comfort in it. Wow, it actually warms up my feet. Usually I check these with gloves, but I got my little hand sanitizer right there next to me, so I clean my hands every so often. And they're trying to, preserve gloves in case we go shopping. These were bought November, December 2019. We're just going through the rest of the lot. These actually, I don't think it's worth restoring the suede because I don't know if they can or cannot be sold online, so I'll usually just clean it up a little bit and set it at the flea market for a few dollars. Rubber boots. Now my rule of thumb on rubber boots is if the sole is still in good condition or the bottom of the still has traction in it, then it can actually be sold. It has some insulation on the bottom, so protection, warms your foot up. It still has cushion in it. It will have no cracks, nothing on it, no holes or anything like that. It'll protect you from the rain, so it's still pretty good to sell. I don't see any brand in it. No brand, so I might just end up selling this in the flea market. Or generic rain boots. They look pink, they look cute, so I don't know, I'll give it a shot. Alright. So another set of shoes from Predictions. It's okay. I still have to clean it. I still have to clean it up a bit. It's okay. I don't know if I can sell it online. I've never sold this brand before. Prediction, so I know very little about it. Now if I take a look on the inside, it still has a lot of cushion. Wow, it feels like a pillow. Yeah, size 6.5. I might just restore the bottom and give it a shot, right? Maybe sell it for like $8-9 and make maybe $6 and change or $7 out of it. And one of the last ones I'll check for today. Find the other pair. Comfort Plus. Comfort Plus, I've actually sold a few of them. They're pretty, good for comfort. But it depends on the bottom. Like for these, that killed the sale right there. That means the shoe is no bueno. In my opinion, well, I have never been able to sell shoes like this, and I wouldn't even attempt it. It's not good. So, bad luck. I have one more to show you guys. Let's see. We actually might have lucked out a little bit in regards to maybe selling it in the flea market. Forever 21 shoes. Here you go. The leather's okay. I think leather seems to be okay. I look at the little creasing right here to see if there's separation from the gum and the thing of the shoe. And there's none. As well as the bottom of the heel, there's no holes, scratches, or anything like that. There's still some traction to it, so these are okay in my opinion. Forever 21, I know is a brand that sells, and it still has cushion on the thing, so that's pretty good in regards to selling those shoes. And that's pretty much it. I do have a whole lot of boxes to go through. So I might make a segment on sorting Sundays as well. That's to see how that goes. But you can see, some of the examples of some shoes I come across. I usually try to stay away from the low quality shoe, that they sell to us, because I get those. I get those shoes like these New Balances that are already like super destroyed. Can't do much of it, so it's like a waste of money. But we did it for experience, and you know, buying higher quality end shoes or their brand. I came across some Steve Maddens, some Aldos, a few Jordans here and there, Yeezys sometimes, because the people that sort them out sometimes can't take them, so it's thrown in there, and boom, you get a hold of like $300-$400 shoes. So it's a big ticket item. But rule of thumb on shoes, when it comes to heels, take a look at the bottom, take a look at their holes, if worn out. The heel is actually, still pretty good. If it's worn out, it's not worth selling. If you do sell in flea markets, you can't sell some of these shoes in flea markets. Some of it's like completely trash. Throw them out. It's not worth selling. You don't want to rip somebody up or donate it. If it still can be used, you just can't really sell it. Donate it. It doesn't hurt to donate to a few people. And I still have a lot to go through, so this is pretty much an example of some of the shoes that we come across. It's mixed. This is like the end of the inventory from 2019. And what I look forward to doing in regards to sourcing is still continue to do business with that company, the intermediary company, but getting more like high value shoes instead of the low value shoes, and actually start buying most of my sourcing, straight from Nike, and reselling like big ticket items. I usually sell some shoes, and most likely get most of my inventory online. Now that this pandemic has hit us, it taught me a lesson in that you can source online, and you should be sourcing online sometimes. Luckily for me, I live in New Jersey, where I have a variety, different type of sources. I can either get it directly to intermediary companies, or the thrift stores, or online, garage sales, estate sales, go to the city, and sometimes you go to Craigslist, and I sometimes find lots of things. Estate sales are a big, like a garage sale that they list on Craigslist, and I go there and I buy a lot of it. But in any case, that's pretty much almost the end of the inventory of 2019. So my goal is to get rid of it all, and Pokemon cards again. I like to play with those. Just to get rid of all this inventory, and at the end of the day, use this time that I have now to clean, check everything, and get a whole bunch of new inventory from online, from liquidation sites. I'm going to test out, pallets from bulk.com, direct liquidation, which I have only used once for tablets, and it went really well. I flipped over like about $300-$400 from tablets. Then I actually never used bulk.com and Blue Dot, so those are two companies that I am going to try to use and test them out and see how it goes for me, and try to get some shoes, or most of the times from those companies I like to get like general merchandise that I can sell in large quantities for low amounts, and electronics, which depends on electronics. I always look at manifests, and I always look at the trends, and I usually get, for electronic wise, if you buy from liquidations, don't buy anything grade A, grade B. So that's pretty much it when it comes to almost the remaining inventory. Just give you a snippet of what I have left. So I have left like 5 boxes to go through, and that's gonna take up the rest of my night today. On Saturdays, sorting Saturdays, I might just take up the rest of the night. And I promise you, by the looks of it, it might be like 70% of the shoes that will be no good, and 30% of the shoes, which is the good lot, the high quality shoes that they sold us, are the ones that I'll actually be able to sell. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking forward to, and well, that's the projection. And everybody, good luck when it comes to sourcing. Look for different sources. Like, this is one of our sources. Thrift stores are another one of our sources, and liquidation sites is another one of my sources. So the more sources you have, the more connections you have, the more items you can get your hands on. So everybody, I want you to have a wonderful week. Stay productive. Stay safe, stay calm, and I'll see you guys on the next episode, where I'll talk about some of the liquidation sites and where to get your items, and what to look for, especially if you define, if you have definite defined categories that you usually are an expert on. So I'll go through that on my next episode, and I'll see you guys later.